guys would like to have a season go after winning a Grey Cup. But you've seen what this organization, what this team can do, when it's at its best. Are you confident that you guys could get back to that next year, or do you feel like there could be a bit of retooling going on with this group?
Which answer do you think I'm going to give? Yeah, we always believe in ourselves, right? And we believe in coming out or first of all, having a great off season, right? And so that is the initial part, right? So I think in these kind of situations, I think you're extra particular about the little things, about the details, and so we will do our best to come out swinging next year. There's no question about it.
I'm sure seeing the teams that did finish ahead of you, you definitely want to remind those teams where you're not far off from when you won a Grey Cup. You don't want this to be, and you talked about this before. You don't want this to be a one and done sort of situation where you win a championship and you're out. So where do you feel like it's going to be the biggest area you guys are going to try to address? I know it's going to take some time to figure out the whole roster and stuff, but just from what you observed, especially when this team was struggling, what did you observe as like areas you want to find a way to address?
Well, I think the very first thing is I want to say that we didn't just win a Grey Cup, right? We won 2 out of 3 Grey Cups, and not only that, we after having a challenging finish, we came out in after the pandemic and took first place, then won the Grey Cup, had the best record tied the best record in league history, then another Grey Cup, and then this season. So in that, we are hoping, but more than hoping, we are working towards understanding that this is the exception, not the other years.
When you look at, and I know that this was a tough situation for you guys with Chad's injury because there was a lot of uncertainty about it, but do you feel like maybe there have been a little more clarity in just having him sit out for the long period and just take the time with it, rather than there was times where there was a little bit of uncertainty whether he was going to be able to play and the kind of the flip-flopping a little bit?
That certainly would have had an impact on your off-season approach. There's no question about that. But you also want, the guy who has won an MVP, has been a real instrumental part of our success. If you have an opportunity to have that guy take the field, I think you want to do that. And what happened was it was going on par for a period of time, and then there was a period in the summer where we found out that there were some things that were not happening as fast as we hoped that they would, and so with that, I don't think you want to simply count him out if there's, which looked like a good possibility that he would be at least back by the first third of the season.
What have your conversations with Chad been like, and going forward, where do you see him kind of being set for next year? Like how are your conversations been with him, and I know his mental aspect of this too, because obviously physically he's got to get better, but mentally he's got to get himself now kind of ramped up and ready too.
Well, first I want to go back a little bit if I could and say that this guy Arbuckle was doing a very competent job, but we were losing the close game. So we don't want to be remiss on that. It's actually then when you get into your number 3 and your number 4 quarterbacks, that's when it gets really difficult. And so from that point, we're simply going to support him on what he needs to do in the off season, and understand that we're going to have 2 solid quarterbacks going into next year.
Do you envision bringing Nick back as a priority for you guys to have, not only just a bit of a safety net, but knowing to have a really good number 2, because not many teams in the league have a number 2 that can step in like Nick did?
That is right. That is correct. And so, yes, we do desire to have him back and be a part of that equation. And we're in a year that was really difficult. We're excited about moving forward.
What else excites you about this team? I know right now the fans are, they're feeling after a season like this, but what excites you about this group?
When we talk specifically about this group, how they've gone through the challenges. I mean, had a very, and obviously a Grey Cup team a year ago, and we have 3 defensive linemen go to the same team. Then we get two like all-star level defensive linemen to replace them, and we're good to go. And they both get Achilles injuries before week 1, I think, and then on top of that, we have an illegal block on a defensive back, and he tears the ACL, PCL, and MCL, and so did I say illegal outside? I'm sorry, but with that, I think. As we look forward to next season, there's a confidence that is behind that. There's a lot of work to do. There's no question about that, right? But when we look at the work we were able to do from, when we had the pandemic and on through to that first year, I don't know if that's how far we have to kind of go back to kind of see the parallel, but it is an area that we think we're competent in, and going back and really sort of building strong teams from the ground up.